Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, wait for y'all to get up in here, man. Talk about this Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, one of the top heavyweight contenders in the world right now. Also, want to go over some under the radar heavyweight stuff. You guys coming up in here, man. Announce yourself. Let me know y'all in the building, man. Gonna chop it up on old Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is one of the top heavyweight contenders. I will say that, man. Even though I disagree with some of the things he says, you also got to put that to the side and acknowledge things in the correct, proper way, man. He is one of the top heavyweight contenders. I will say that. Top 10 for sure. Stormy B, man, was good. Renault Zoro was good, man. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. You know what I mean? Dillian. That dude just cannot seem to keep Deontay Wilder's name out of his mouth. And I understand it. When you're a top contender, you always want to shout out the champion. So that's, I'm not sitting here knocking him for that. But it's just some of the things he says. He's on his crusade right now calling Wilder a coward. That's his opinion, and he's entitled to that. And I'm entitled to have my opinion about what he's saying publicly as a professional fighter. You know what I mean? So I know people gonna come in here, or see this video afterwards and tell me, well, Mr. Boxing, why do you always got to talk about it? Well, why does he always got to open his mouth? You know what I mean? I'm a fan. So let a few more y'all get up in here, man. St. Cruising was good. Rory Tabori was good. Stormy B man says, you catch my part 4 profile of Holyfield. No, bro, I seen you been dropping those videos, but I'm gonna get to them, man. I'm gonna start with number 1 today. I've been seeing you dropping some Holyfield stuff. I'm definitely gonna check that out because you told me Holyfield was your favorite fighter. So I'm gonna definitely check it out from your perspective, bro. Actually, you know what, Storm? I'm gonna queue it up right now on my Apple TV. So when I'm done, I'm gonna check you out. Let me see here. See who else got up in here. Eddie Saucer says, I bet Vlad KO'd a lot of people. Need to see footage, lot of trash talking. Roy Tabor says, I wouldn't be surprised if Prime Klitschko was stopping sparring partners, but that's not Wilder now. And White is the one who has to do it, not Klitschko and a time machine. I agree. St. Cruisin says, nah, I doubt White was. He says, nah, I doubt White saw anything, just more noise to get a fight. Renora Zoro says, Gerald Washington KOs Dillian Whyte. Ed Hendry was good. He says, I'd rather see Wilder versus 2-time drug cheat White than any fight make him pay for running his mouth. Elf player was good, bro. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start, man. Now, look. First, let me get to some under the radar heavyweight stuff that happened over the weekend, okay? Apti Davtaev, Russian fighter, 19-0. He improved to 19-0 with 18 KOs. He TKO'd Keith Barr, and this was on the Clarissa Shields undercard. Okay, so he improved to 19-0. I've done a prospect watch video on him about 4 years ago. So he was on American soil, got a KO or stoppage victory. Also, top rank, up and coming prospect out of Philadelphia, the 23-year-old Sonny Conto approves a 6-0 with 5 KOs. He KO'd Curtis Head. All right, so Darmani Rock up there in Philly, bro. You better move over, man. There's another prospect in town at heavyweight named Sonny Conto. Okay. Now let me get to this. You guys seen the thumbnail. If you guys are familiar with the Martin show, Martin making that face, the face you make when you think somebody telling a lie, you kind of buck your lips up. Gary Payton, for my NBA fans, Gary Payton used to always make that face at the refs. When the refs would call a bullshit call, Gary would buck his lip up to the side and make that face. Look, man, there's a lot of things. First of all, just let me get to this. Before we get to him saying that he saw Wilder get knocked out of sparring, now let's rewind this, okay? This is 2012, allegedly, when this happened, okay? Before I get to what he said he saw Wilder happen to Wilder, he goes on to say, out of everybody that was there at this camp, he's the one that got sent home, meaning Dillian Whyte, because he was roughing up Klitschko. Yo, man, I don't know which one is more of some shit he's pulling out his ass. That Wilder got knocked out twice in sparring, or he was the one, Dillian Whyte. Now, mind you, 2012, depending on when this sparring session happened, this happened, Dillian Whyte in 2012, He fought his fourth all the way up to his ninth pro fight. So somebody that has 4 to 9 pro fights, Dillian Whyte, was the one that was roughing up the 2012 on top of his game in his prime, Vladimir Klitschko. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, dude, stop the shenanigans, man. We know you want the fight, bro, but now you just pulling up superhero stories, man. Like, stop, Dillian Whyte. You're still learning the basics of boxing. You get by on your tenacity and heart. So I'm not saying that you didn't have tenacity and heart back then, but roughing up the 2012 version of Klitschko, some dude that has between 4 and 9 fights with no crazy amateur background pedigree, man, stop playing, dude. Like, knock it off, man. Seriously, knock it off, okay? Another thing before I get to the Wilder being, isn't it ironic? Since 2017 till now, there's been 3 people that have said that Wilder got knocked out, right? And guess where they're all from? You'll never guess. Just take a guess. The UK. Isn't that ironic? Mr. Boxing, what are you talking about? Okay, I believe it was May 31st, 2017. I did a video, like a lot of us uploaders, and this video actually has like 250,000 views on my channel. So shout out to everybody that caught that video because it was just big news. Johnny Nelson said it's the biggest kept secret in boxing. Deontay Wilder being knocked out with a body shot by Vladimir Klitschko. You know, the Vladimir Klitschko that doesn't throw body shots at all. He got knocked out in sparring by Vladimir Klitschko. And I did a video saying, hey, I don't know if it's true or not at that point in time. I didn't know if it was true. I just reported the news and talked about the possibility of something like that happening. This 2012 version of Klitschko. Now, 2012, depending on when this sparring session happened, Deontay Wilder, if I'm mistaken, please correct me, in 2012 had between 21 to 26 fights. So somewhere in there, he went into his own, according to Wilder, I'm gonna get to that in a second, the only time he's ever been in camp with Vladimir Klitschko, okay? He had between 21 to 26 fights, okay? So was it a body shot that he got knocked out with? Now Dillian Whyte saying he was on the ground twitching. He got knocked out, and he was on the ground twitching after he got knocked out, okay? I heard this rigmarole again, right? I heard this again in 2018. Guess who said it in 2018? You'll never guess. In November IFL TV interview. Guess who said it? Tyson Fury. So we have Johnny Nelson, Tyson Fury, and Dillian Whyte. Those are the 3 dudes that have this story. Johnny Nelson, Tyson Fury, and Dillian Whyte. Oh my goodness. Who's next? Is Huey Fury going to come out and say that he saw it? Let me guess. David Price will be the next guy to say he saw it. Maybe Tim Little. Fuck it. How about Paul Butlin? How about Sean Turner? How about Nathan Gorman? How about Daniel? How about everybody from the fucking UK said they came out and saw this? This is ridiculous, man. Now look, could there have been a possibility that Klitschko was busting up Wilder? I would hope so. You're on top of your game, one of the best heavyweights to ever do it at that point in time. You know, he'll go down as a great. Wilder was still learning the game, still coming up. But then Deontay Wilder himself came out with a video. Let me look to see. June 3rd, 2017. You can look it up. Wilder responds to Johnny Nelson. This when he was sitting on his couch and he was saying that Johnny Nelson has bitch tendencies. Wilder said that did not happen, and he said he held his own, okay, in those camps. So it comes down to who you believe. Do you believe Deontay Wilder, what he said out of his own mouth responding to Johnny Nelson? Or do you just mysteriously believe Johnny Nelson, Dillian Whyte, and Tyson Fury? Now, here's the big part of all this. Let's say it is true. Let's say that Johnny Nelson, Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury, they're all telling the truth, right? Let's say it is true. Guess what Emmanuel Stewart said in 2012? Yeah, guess what Emmanuel Stewart, the great Emmanuel Stewart, the one that had that was big on having Klitschko bring in these up and comers like Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder, David Price, Marius Wack, when all these guys were pups, Pulev, Herkovic, bringing in all these guys in his camp, bringing in young top amateurs, young undefeated prospects, guys that are breaking their way to contender form. He will have these guys come in. Guess what he said in 2012? You won't believe it. The interview's still up. Some of you probably already know. Some of you probably already marking it down in the comments section. Guess what he said? He said out of all the guys he's seen come in, there's 2 guys that stick out. According to Dillian Whyte, one of the guys was twitching on the floor, right? He said there's 2 guys. First, he brought up Tyson Fury. And we see that my man Emmanuel Stewart was right. Tyson Fury was what he thought he was. Okay? Guess who the other guy he brought up? You'll never guess who it is. You'll never guess. The bronze bomber. He said, also watch out for that kid from America, big kid, Deontay Wilder. Those are the two. That's what Emmanuel Stewart said, not Johnny Nelson, not Dillian Whyte, not me, not you. Emmanuel Stewart said that. 2012. Yeah, he said it. So, Emmanuel Stewart, who's been around the crunk, who's just, I mean, we go on and on. Why in the fuck would Emmanuel Stewart say, hey, watch out for the kid that was fucking twitching on the floor that we just busted up, roughed up, knocked him out with body shots, head shots, tore him apart. Watch out for him, but don't watch out for Dillian Whyte, a kid that we allegedly sent home because he was allegedly roughing up Vladimir Klitschko. Does this make any sense to anybody? Mr. Boxing, why are you getting so mad? I'm not mad, man. It's just, bro, we know you want to fight Dillian Whyte. But these, Star Wars, Avengers, make-believe ass stories you're coming up with, bro, just stop it, man. If any, and then he going to say, I'm not scared of these guys. I've seen the Sky Sports interview. You're not supposed to be scared, you know what I mean? But they talk tough and all. Okay, well, bro, you also talk tough. And Wilder also came out and said that he seen you at a function. I think it was a WBC function, and he didn't even know you were even in the building because you were being so quiet. So why didn't you come out and talk tough and beat a Roz Clot and all this shit that you claim you are? Why didn't you do all that? I'm not saying you guys should fight in the street, bro, but all that stuff. Look, I'm not from the UK. I got a lot of respect for UK fans and fighters, man. But all that tough talk shit you talk, bro. I understand Brixton, they do their thing over there. But bro, there's 300 Brixtons in fucking America. Oakland, LA, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Houston, Dallas, Miami. I go fucking on and on. Milwaukee, Minneapolis, bro. There's a Brixton everywhere. In this motherfucker here in America, Jack. So all that tough Tony shit you talking, man, bro, just get in the ring. And bro, look, who the fuck would be scared of you? You were 271 pounds, flabby, out of shape your last fight, and you got hands put on you by Marius Wack. So who will be scared of you? Mr. Box, you sound defensive. Bro, this is just ridiculous talk he's coming out with, man. So somebody got to say something. I don't have nothing against Dillian Whyte. Nothing at all. Just when he starts talking crazy. And as a fan, it makes me just scratch my head like, who will be scared of you? I'm talking about at the elite level of heavyweight. I'm not talking about Joe Blow that work at the grocery store or one of us, a fan. I'm talking about the top heavyweights, man. So when I say who will be scared of you, I'm talking about in comparison to his peers, y'all. I'm not talking about me and you. So don't say, well, you wouldn't fight him. Well, you wouldn't fight him. So let me get this straight. Dillian Whyte out of everybody was the one that they sent home. And then again, could you get sent home because you're trying to tackle? Now look, I understand there's different variations of getting sent home. Hey, maybe I've heard of guys roughing up, and then Wilder was also the main sparring partner in that one camp. He's only been in one camp, and he was the main sparring partner. Now I have seen guys like I've seen footage of Jeremy Williams fucking tackling Lennox Lewis and sparring, and I understand sometimes when you're in there trying to tackle people in rough house and twist somebody's arm in a clinch, yeah, then they'll send you home. So did you get sent home because of that type shit, or did you get sent home because you were just, putting hands on Vladimir? I need some clarification here, man. You know what I mean? Who believes this story, man? Who believes this? Let me go ahead and appreciate the person that appreciated me with that super chat, man. Seen and unseen boxing. He says, sounds like a bunch of BS lies. Thank you, bro. And I appreciate that $2 holla as well, man. I'm seeing my man BFTB up in this thing. What's good, BFTB? Bro, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit, man. Exactly, BFTB. Now, if somebody says this, hey, I seen Deontay Wilder get stopped in the amateurs, get dunked down multiple times. You know what I say? You're right. Evgeny Romanov did it. Evgeny Romanov is a Russian fighter. He's actually rated by, I believe, 2 or at least one of the sanctioned bodies right now. He's a 6-footer. He was hitting Wilder with some right hands. He was crouching down low with the guard. He was busting up Wilder in that sparring, not sparring, but that amateur event that happened in 2008. That's fact. You see how I just said that's fact. I have no excuses. It's on footage, seen it, fact. But this shit, and then it's like, okay, Dillian, well, why wait till now to come out with this story? Why now? Why didn't you confirm it when Johnny Nelson was talking about it in 2017? So Johnny Nelson, Tyson Fury, and Dillian Whyte all have this story. Ironically, they're all from the UK. Man, stop playing, man. Stop playing. Sounds ridiculous, man. I mean, that's just, I don't even really go. I'm gonna just read y'all's comment, bro, and see what y'all got to say. But this is just him on his crusade to get a title shot. This is the same guy that, in his head, y'all, in his head, he really thinks he was a mandatory for 600 days when we all know he was never the mandatory. Brazil and Stavern were the two last mandatories. Now he is a mandatory um, to get his title shot between Wilder and Fury. But this man believes in his own head, bro. So it don't surprise me that he believes this story that he's making up, because he also believed he was a mandatory for 600 days. And he also got other people believing this shit as well when we all know it wasn't true. And he also said that the dude is a coward. And that's his opinion if he thinks Wilder's a coward. I don't a coward from what? So he's ducking you to fight somebody that's recognized, and a lot of fans' minds think he is the best heavyweight, Tyson Fury. However you want to mix it up, where you think it's Wilder, AJ Fury, Fury, AJ Wilder, AJ Fury. Okay, we all know the consensus, those are the top three heavyweights. So you're trying to tell me that he's ducking you to fight somebody else who's undefeated and is looked at as the top heavyweight, or at the very least, one of the top two or three heavyweights. Man, shut up. Shut up. Shut up, dude. Just shut up. Just, that's like saying we all at the gym playing ball and I want to play LeBron James 101 and Andrew Wiggins tell me I'm ducking him. Yeah, nigga, to play the best. Dude, this is so simple, man. Like, this dude is ridiculous, man. All right, let me see what y'all talking about, yo. Let me see here. Harold Jones was good, bro. Harold Jones also says, notice nobody mentions how White sessions went and Wilder was the one who sparred over 50 rounds and camped with the champ. Yeah, and Emmanuel Stewart said, hey, if there's two dudes to watch out for in the future, Fury and Wilder, that kid from America named Wilder that nobody's talking about. That's up. I'm not making that up. That is up on the internet. Why didn't he mention White? Why didn't anybody mention White? Fuck out of here, man. Acres Homes bullies LCP up in this thing. He says Dope Fiend will say anything. Acres Home. That's out in Houston, ain't it? Ain't that H-Town? Acre Homes? I believe it is. JD was good, man. He says James Ali Bashir isn't from the UK. Yeah, but what did James Ali... I know where James Ali Bashir is from. He is a crunk... he's from the crunk. You know what I mean? But what did he say? Because I also heard James also say that Usyk was roughing up Klitschko in camp. So he's going to play, but what you're failing to mention, bro, is he's a part of the Klitschko people. So I just don't see Deontay Wilder. Now again, Mr. Boxer being biased, but I don't see Wilder lying about shit like this. I just don't see that. But what I do see is people from all the UK lying about it. I do see that. And what did James Ali Bashir say? That Wilder got knocked out with body shots and he got knocked out twitching on the floor? Jay Joseph says UK stand up. Hey, I rock with the UK. I just don't like some of the shit that comes out of the UK. So I'm not sitting here, yeah, UK stand up, especially the true fans that rock with me. Stand up for sure. Adam O says it's not a UK agenda, bro. AJ got knocked out by Price. It happens to a lot of fighters. Okay. Jupiter Beast, salute, bro. Velcano says D-Ball White is a funny dude. Can't wait for Wilder to send him to his maker. Yatundi Kiji says, don't you think you sound like a Wilder fanboy? When Johnny Nelson said Usyk was giving Klitschko the business in sparring, you didn't say anything about that. Laugh emoji, laugh emoji. Yes, I did say something about that. You missed it. Had to read it like that because that's how you come off to me. When people say, why didn't you say, motherfucker, I did say something about it. I say something pretty much about everything in the heavyweight division when I'm active on YouTube. All right. So don't tell me what I didn't say. Where were you at, you Tindi, Kelji, whatever your name is? Ramisa Sutton III says, peace to the chat and salute to the trio, hashtag LDBC. JD says, don't forget about Andy Lee. Yeah, I know Andy Lee, crunk fighter, was a middleweight. I know about Andy. What did Andy say? Did Andy say something? I didn't hear about Andy. I'm just going off of the stories that came out that people are doing, that me and other uploaders doing videos on. So if I missed that video, direct me to it. Don't tell me I missed it. Tell me what interview it was. I like facts. Just send me that so then I can watch it. You know what I mean? Let me see what this dude says. Somebody smacked him upside his head. He says, "Bro, Andy Lee saw it as well." Okay, well, where is this at? When did Andy say this, and where is it at? So then why would Wilder lie? Is what I'm trying to get at. God of War says Vlad knocked Wilder out in Austria. It's neither a secret nor a new story. Who said it was a new story? I pretty much said it's been brought up a few times by a few UK dudes. Uh, Jay Joseph says sparring is just sparring, man. Yeah, it is. Vilcano says salute Mr. Boxing, and Reynolds says, man, these dudes will say anything to try and make Wilder look bad. So y'all believe that Wilder was knocked out twitching on the floor, then got back up, and whatever a day later or vice versa, whichever happened first, he got knocked out with a body shot, and then they kept him in camp as the main sparring partner. So listen to me, y'all. Deontay Wilder got used as the main sparring partner. He got knocked out cold, twitching. So if you knock somebody out cold, leave them twitching, you're gonna keep them in camp. Shouldn't you send them the fuck home? Like, bro, you were just twitching on the floor, fam. We probably need to send you home just for, you know what I mean, medical reasons, bro. So people get knocked out cold, twitching in real fights and have to sit out months. But yet they're gonna use him the very next day or the day after. On top of Wilder, so Wilder's line. So what y'all saying is you think Wilder? Because I guess it's he say she say at this point, right? Let me see. My wife said my man Fanon sent me a super chat. So let me go ahead and appreciate that $10 holla Fanon. He says I see you have these UK trolls coming around. Yeah, and they're gonna tell me that I'm being biased, but they're not biased, but I am biased. You know, it's funny how that stuff works. I'm the biased one, but they're not biased. Okay, Tyrone Smith says he says I saw a video, I won't say from who, but this thing that Wilder is ducking this talent stack division is a joke. It is, man. George Michael says Bashir confirmed Wilder got dropped on BWTM, but Wilder was green and still elite, but he got dropped. But I'm not fuss Wilder. See, bro, there's a difference between being dropped and then getting up and then being knocked out cold, twitching, and then being knocked out with a body shot. Being dropped and being knocked out is two different things. I never said he didn't get dropped. You didn't hear me say he didn't get dropped. But knocked out twitching on the floor, according to Dillian Whyte, and then according to Johnny Nelson, knocked out rolling, knocked out with a body shot. So did he get knocked out cold twitching or did he get knocked down? I'm not saying it's just there's no way that Wilder got knocked down. No, I'm not saying that. I've seen him knocked down I've seen him knocked down in a pro fight, and I've seen him get stopped pretty ugly as in 2008 against Romanov. I'm not gonna lie about that. But knocked out twitching, bro, that don't sound like a reach to you. So this just doesn't sound like a reach to nobody. Come on, man. Like, come on, y'all can't just be this naive, man. Uh Okay, you Tinny Kidji. I know about Wilder style. I know how he used to fight. And I actually, this is why I picked Stavern to beat Wilder in his first fight. Were you around for that when I was picking Stavern to beat Wilder? Were you around when I was picking Malik Scott to beat Wilder? You know what I mean? You keep saying I'm a fanboy. I'm missing that, bro. I'm a huge fan of Deontay Wilder. A huge fan. So you call it fanboy, call it the fuck you want. Just like I know you're probably a huge fan of AJ. But I cover the whole division. Do you cover the whole division? Do I hear you talk about Apti, Davtaev, who I talked about today? Have I heard you bring up Sonny Conto? No, I haven't. Only people I hear you fucking bring up is AJ and Wilder. You know what I mean? Wilder gets a lot of Larry Holmes treatment, bro. And if you don't know that, I advise you to go look at some old Larry Holmes build up to his fights. Not just the fight, but the build up to the Bone Crusher Smith, the build up to the Spinks fight, the build up to the David Bay fight, the build up to the Scott Franks fight, the build up to the Mike Weaver fight. Go watch those build up, the HBO build up programs, and they talking about how he has thin legs, right? Larry Holmes even said that to the build up to I believe it was Burbick or Bone Crusher Smith. When he said this, not me, he said this back in 1976. They were writing me off saying I had thin legs. I'm a carbon copy to Ali. I'm not fighting nobody. The same shit they say about Deontay Wilder. So damn right I'm gonna be a fanboy to make sure that his story gets told the right way in this era. Not like the way Larry fucking Merchant and the old media was telling Larry's home story. So the hell with you, man. I give a fuck about you calling me that. And yes, I got some damn bass and some venom in my voice, man, because I'm tired of our American champion being treated like he's a piece of shit. The same way they treated Larry Holmes. So if you don't like it, then get the fuck off my channel. Go watch somebody that shits on him. Yeah, man, I'm with the shit today, man. Count Drago says, been watching you for years. You're the least biased YouTuber. And that's not even the point more about me being least, because I am biased. Look, I'm biased towards the American fighters, but I also know how to sit down and break down the fights and give my fair opinion and assessment on style breakdowns. To me, that's what I'm good at. You know what I mean? But I want to see these guys do well. I want to see Deontay Wilder do well. I do. There's nothing wrong with that. If you from the UK, you want to see AJ and Fury and all them guys do well, then hey, I understand. But you're not going to get me off my square by telling me, oh, you're a fanboy. Or no, you want me to shut the fuck up is what you want me to do. And I'm not going to do it. You'd have been the same person that would have told me to shut the fuck up about Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes isn't treated like that. Go watch the build-up fights. Go read old articles. And I guarantee I'll put my channel on the line that he got treated the same way that some of you like to treat Deontay Wilder. He ain't fought nobody. There was one build-up show. I forgot the old fighter's name, but the old fighter was saying, well, just too bad for Larry, man. He's not in the Floyd Patterson and Rocky Marciano era because he has nobody to fight. Pretty ironic, isn't it? Or let me guess. They were right about Larry Holmes then, right? Fuck out of here, man. And this ain't personal, bro. We just talking boxing. But while we talking boxing, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm not me as a dude that covers the heavyweight. I'm not gonna sit back and be Larry Merchant of 2020. I'm not gonna sit back and be none of those old media motherfuckers that shit on the American champion and wait. And they waited till Larry was 35 years old to try to give him his props. Well, he's getting older and now he's dominant. But when he was dominant, when he was in his 8th, 9th, 10th title defense, he wasn't nothing. He was garbage. Then when he got older and when he went into the Spinks fight, now they want to give him. Now I'm giving his roses now. I'm not gonna wait until 2030 to give Deontay Wilder his flowers. Now I'm gonna give it to him now because he deserves it now. He's doing some historic things right now, whether you see it or not. I kind of went off, so let me try to read these as quickly as possible. I see family in the house, BFTB, and a lot of people in the house, man. So let me try to get through these quick. George Michael says he can. Okay, I read that. And like I said, bro. And shout out to BWTM, one of the YouTube channels out in the UK that I rock with heavily. And I know that he's had a lot of interviews with Uncle Bashir, as he calls him, and I pretty much watched them damn near all. And and I think I do remember him talking about that, but like I said, difference between dropped and being knocked out, twitching on the floor. Okay, there's a huge difference. Let me see here. Pugilism, Nino Brown says, talking about sparring from 10 years ago. God of War says, this is damn old news. You people act like it's not possible. This is heavyweight boxing. Jupiter B says, White deserves to be banned from the sport. Nothing more. All he had to do was fight Ortiz. He didn't have another opportunity with Brazil. He didn't. White don't want Wilder, just using his name. George Michael says, Bashir said it was headshots and there was blood, but Bashir said Wilder got back up to his credit and carried on. I actually think Wilder beats Vlad, but he got dropped. Big deal. Yeah, bro, again, being dropped. I could understand that. And that might have probably did happen that he got dropped. But knocked out, twitching on the floor, and then knocked out with a bot. Now, knocked out and knocked down, two different things. I don't believe he was knocked out. I don't think Emmanuel Stewart would keep him around and use him as the key sparring partner for over 50 rounds. And then, I just don't believe that. Rob Plant says, I'm not sure what the issue is. It was years ago. What do you mean what the issue is, Rob? Bro, he's up here saying the dude got knocked out twitching, and out of everybody at the camp, he was the one that got sent home because he was roughing up Vladimir. That don't sound like a fucking lie? And it was years ago. And who's got better? Wilder or White? Looked like Wilder the one that got a lot better than me. So it's not about hurt. See, bro, See, Rob, now you're saying it's hurting feelings, bro. Like, it's not about hurting feelings. It's just about, I think the dude's lying. So he ain't hurting my feelings. He was, shit, if anything, I think he hurt his own feelings when he came into the ring out of shape against Marius Wack. He should be one with hurt feelings. Coming in at 271 pounds, a guy roughed up by a journeyman that was in his best years in 2011. His feelings should be hurt. My feelings damn sure ain't hurt. I got my kids off to school this morning, happy family. Like, I'm good, bro. I'm just talking about boxing. Ain't nothing about no hurt feelings. It's about just lying. Odie Loke Sports. Haven't seen this dude on my channel in a while, but let me see what he says. It says, so Brazil Molina was a final eliminator, but Molina couldn't get the mandatory. Stop it, bro. Well, Odie Loke Sports info, you probably missed the video, but I said when Brazil, if you're talking to me, when Brazil and Molina was made the final eliminator, I made a video. Oh my goodness. I made a video saying that this shouldn't be the final eliminator. I think the winner of this eliminator should fight the winner out of the Whyte versus who did he fight? Helenius eliminator. Remember, Odie Loke? Those fights took place a week apart. I was one that was advocating for that fight to happen then. Let me guess, you missed that video. Man, some of you are just saying anything, dude. Y'all know I made video. Y'all know that was the most logical thing to do, and a lot of us were saying that, bro. Okay, so I've been said that. This if you're talking to me, but I assume you are because you didn't at nobody. So, yeah, bro. I never thought that Brazil versus Molina should have been a final limb. I never thought that, and I thought the WBC dropped the ball because they could have just made Whyte versus Brazil as the final. You dig what I'm saying? Lamont says, Wilder task about Whyte, every poodle has his day. I'm gonna let him keep barking for now, but when his time comes, y'all know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be stretch season. Jupiter B says some of these UK fans got the UK looking pathetic. BFTB Boxing says if Wilder was a baby then, why didn't the grown-ups go after his belt? BFTB also says where was Vlad calling for Wilder's belt? I remember that too, bro. I remember that whole, and I've heard you go over it in detail. And at this point, let me just do it briefly before I get to the next comment. People tend to forget, man, before Wilder even had the belt, Brian Jennings, after he beat Perez, was in line to fight the winner. That was one of the WBC eliminators, right? And I gave Jennings props at this point because instead of chasing this vacant title that Vitaly left behind, I gave Jennings props for saying, you know what, fuck this WBC thing. Let me go fight the guy that is looked at and viewed as the best heavyweight in the world, which his name is Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir and Jennings started negotiating November of 2014. So 2015 comes around. Wilder and Stavern are set to fight that January, right? A few months later, Vladimir and Jennings fight. I think it was like April or something like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It was like April. So when that Stavern Wilder fight went on, Vladimir already had a fight set in stone, ready to go. He fights. After the Jennings fight, I also said after Jennings fight that Vladimir looked a little bit haggard, didn't look like the same Vladimir, and I'm curious to see what he's gonna look like in his next fight, and he ended up losing the next fight. All right, but let me get back to this. At the post-fight presser of the Jennings-Klitschko fight, Jennings was talking about the other belt. Vladimir brought up that he has to defend his title against Tyson Fury, and that will be his next fight. This is at the post-fight presser. But Mr. Boxing, what about when Shelly Finkel said that Wilder, okay, that's Shelly Finkel talking. That wasn't Deontay Wilder talking. Then I end up criticizing Wilder during that time period because this one I didn't agree when he said this because he just had won the title. I think he maybe had one defense or he was getting ready for his defense, but Wilder kept saying that Vladimir has to come over here to fight him. And I was kind of like, bro, but you just won the title though, Deontay. Like, Vladimir's a long-reigning champion. But that's neither here nor there because Vladimir went after Fury anyways. He was going to go after Fury anyway, whether it was Severn that beat Wilder or Wilder beat, he was going after Fury anyways. And then we know what happened. There was 2 cancellations or whatever. But he was going after Fury anyways. That would say that at the post-fight presser, Jennings and Klitschko. If you don't believe me, go look up the post-fight presser where he says, I'm going to defend my title. Tyson Fury is next. That's what he said. So you can say, well, Shelly Finkel said he was a baby. Okay, well then Vladimir Klitschko said Tyson Fury's next. So what did they both duck the fight? So that whole thing, but why didn't he unify? Well, why didn't why did Vlad just straight away go after Tyson Fury? Uh oh man, I didn't know people even still believe Dillian Whyte in his gloves. I'm not even gonna read that. Count Drago says, who could Miller be facing? How about Kuzman or Jennings? Well, that'd be good. I would definitely like a Kuzman fight. Hey, speaking of knocking out people in sparring, Kuzman damn near went viral the other week here. Did y'all see that footage of Kuzman knocking out his sparring partner? Yikes. That was scary, man. If y'all ain't seen that, go look at Sergey. It's all over YouTube. Sergey Kuzman knocked the shit out of his sparring partner last week. I think it was last week. He's come forward, about 6'4", 250-pound dude. I love to see him and Jennings, and I'm sorry, him and Miller. Think that'd be a good scrap. Come forward, they won't have to go looking for each other. I think they'll bang. You know what I mean? And Kuzman only losses to Michael Hunter. He just got outworked, and he got dropped. So I think Hunter dropped him too. But I'm not sure who Miller's going to fight if he is indeed on this undercard, bro. I'm not sure. BFTB says, if Ortiz is an old man, then why didn't Whyte beat him up and then fight Wilder? And then on top of that, BFTB, he's chasing another guy that's considered, I guess, 40 is considered old. So he wants to fight Povetkin, and he's 40. Povetkin didn't look 40 in his last fight against Hunter. You know what I mean? But I thought they had a damn good fight. And Povetkin outworked Huey Fury, who's fucking 15 years younger than him. But then again, he still is 40. So this old guy's okay to fight. This old guy's not okay to fight. I'm just confused. Is old, or I'm not really getting it. But I do like Dillian Whyte's opponent selection, even though it's not Ortiz. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Povetkin or Ruiz Jr. You know what I mean? Him and Ruiz Jr., they got a lot to prove. Both of them motherfuckers came in out of shape. Although I didn't, Mr. Boxing, you said that Ruiz was okay with his weight. Yeah, because he's always looks out of shape. You know what I mean? The motherfucker always looks out of shape. But to come into weighing more in the biggest fight of your life up until that date, it was a head scratcher. But Ruiz is known for that. And I brought this up. Going into the Parker fight, he weighed more going into the Parker fight than his fight prior to that. Okay? Going into his first AJ fight, he weighed more than that going into the AJ fight than he did in the Dimitrenko fight. Going into the second AJ fight, he weighed more than that fight. You get what I'm saying? It's just, that's his thing. So I thought he would be okay. But obviously, AJ did this. I'm not going to take nothing away from AJ. He went in there and outboxed the shit out of Ruiz. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Odie Loke says, just fight the man. KO him. And he says, just fight the man. KO him if you can. Simple. Why all these excuses? Bro, he's fighting Tyson Fury. You know, Tyson Fury, one of the top, in some people's mind, the top. Man, y'all, come on, man. Come on, y'all. Oh my goodness, man. This is crazy, man. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm looking at my wife, like, y'all, he's fighting fucking Tyson Fury, y'all. So let me guess, he's also ducking Jarrell Miller too, right? Who else is he ducking? Is he ducking Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce? He's fighting Tyson Fury, man. That's like saying Tyson Fury is ducking Alexander Usyk right now to fight Wilder. Like, y'all can't be this naive, man. Y'all playing, man. I know y'all playing. Y'all, man, stop the jokes, man. Y'all joking. I know y'all joking with me, man. It's all good. Y'all just telling jokes. It's all good. Neutral Natural was good, bro. He says, why people make a big deal about sparring, why he didn't give Wilder that chance to fight him in 2015. Oh, I got a text. My man J Dill. I wonder if J Dill's in the building, but it is stupidity, bro. And I'm just doing a vid because people sending me messages saying, oh, well, why aren't you doing a video about this? Okay, well, I'll do a video about it. It's not really anything. It sounds like a fucking lie. My man Clint Suafano up in here. What's good, bro? And I'm good, y'all. It's just that when I get to talking about Larry Holmes, man, I do get emotional with Larry, man, because the way, bro, y'all got to go watch those old fights. I'm not saying just watch the fight. I'm not saying go watch a highlight clip. I'm talking about watch the pre-fight build-up shows, man. It'll just make you want to. I damn near want to throw my Apple remote on the floor listening to Larry Merchant talk. You would think Larry Holmes was just some scrub, and when it was all said and done, he was one of the greats to do it. You know what I mean? Going into the Witherspoon fight, he doesn't have a lot of, only have 13 fight, blah, 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 blah. Witherspoon ended up being one of the best heavyweights of that era, ended up winning a world title. Um, yes, J. Dill, Holmes versus Norton was a classic. You know what I mean? The Weaver fight, you know, Weaver ended up winning a world title, ended up knocking out Big John Tate in the 15 round, one of the classic knockouts. Um, Trevor Berbick ended up winning a world title. A lot of these dudes that they said were scrubs he was fighting ended up winning a world title later on in their careers. Didn't hold on to him for a long time because in that 80s, them some of them titles were being passed around like hot potatoes. You know what I mean? The Pink Line Thomas, the Witherspoon, the Bone Crusher Smith's another one that he fought and ended up being a world title holder later on in his career. Smith ended up beating Witherspoon. You know what I mean? So it just upsets me, man, because I just see the same routine with Deontay Wilder. So it is what it is, man. Jupiter says, Mr. Boxing, you'll never get the link of these interviews. They're giving all these names who saw it, but no source. I do remember BWTM. He did an interview with James Lee Bashir, and I do remember James saying something about Usyk giving Vladimir some work in sparring. And I believe he did brush on the Wilder Vladimir sparring. I have to go and look. If BWTM is around, maybe I can go to his channel and ask him to pull that up for me. But Wilder saying something that's totally contrary. He came out with his video that he did, then when he responded to Johnny Nelson. You know what I mean? Somebody hit me with a super chat. Let me go ahead and acknowledge that person that is showing me props. And I'm way behind on the fucking comments, y'all. I'm sorry, man, but I'm just going on a tangent right now. My man Fanon back in there. He says, I used to think those trolls couldn't be that dumb. I was wrong. They are. So many of y'all in the building. M. Reynolds up in this thing. Jake Jerk up in here, man. DB. Man, a lot of y'all, man. Man, Cali Enigma up in this thing. Ooh, man, let me see, y'all. I am Ill Will up in this thing. Let me see. Um, Timothy Thomas. I see you in here quite I see you in my channel a lot. Uh, I see you talking to BFTB, but if it's about the best fighting the best, yes, BFTB will want to see that. I'm not even sure what y'all talking about, but if it's about the top heavyweights fighting each other, I can co-sign that. Yeah, he does want to see that fight. Maybe we should start from the bottom, man. Neutral Natural says, I want to see Trevor Bryan in the ring. Where is he? Shit. Hey, bro, when you find him, let me know. You know what I mean? I don't know the last time I heard, bro, he was supposed to be fighting Manuel Char. And I haven't heard nothing since. It's the only thing about Trevor, man. He's inactive. I remember a few years ago when him and Jarrell Miller were trying to put their fight to Showtime. I remember doing a video about it that they were saying, hey, they actually were in the video together. I remember I think True School Sports was the one that, because True School Sports had access to the heavyweight factory down in Florida. So he was always around Shannon Briggs and Holyfield and Riddick Bowe and Jarrell Miller and Trevor Bryant. All those guys down there that was at the heavyweight factory. So I think it was True School that did the interview where both guys were on cam talking about, hey, Showtime, let's, link, let's get our fight on there, man. And then they went down there and Jarrell went down there and pulled up on them and they have a sparring session. I got that sparring on my channel of Jarrell Miller and Trevor Bryan. But anyways, I wanted them to fight a few years ago. But right now, Trevor Bryan's best win to me is just Derek Rossi. You know what I mean? So another super chat. My man Omega Red up in this thing with that $5 holla. I appreciate that. He says they hated Ali and Martin Luther King Jr. So I don't care what they say. In the end, we are always right. And you know what? Something struck me, man, that Wilder Fury is Black History Month. And you guys know how Wilder feels about his people, man. I think he's going to go out there and do something exciting, man. I heard him say this. So I think, yeah, shout out to my man 70 Sports TV who did an interview with the champ the other day. Black History Month. I can't wait to see what the outfit, the ring, because his ring walks right now are legendary. as far as his costumes and everything, man, this dude looked like some shit out of a comic book. But the Klitschko's had some dope ass entrances too. When they would come in with the laser light shows, and I remember, was it the Vladimir versus Hay fight? That was crazy, yo. Where they had like the where they were walking through the tunnel, and it was like George Foreman. Man, it was crazy. The Klitschko's had some bomb ass entrances when they were coming to the ring. But Wilder is doing his thing with the costume, so I can't wait to see what this costume is going to be, and I can't wait to see what Tyson Fury is going to try to do too, because Tyson Fury is a showman. I can't knock him for that. So I can't wait for Wilder Fury, man. But I think Wilder gonna have something special for this Black History Month, and can't wait to see what he's gonna do. Corey Yellowman Jackson was good, bro. He says peace and blessings, family. Same to you, man. Likewise. All right, y'all. Let me try to catch up, man. Y'all know how I get when I'm on my rants, bro. I get all over the place. But I see some people have something. They trying to tell me off. So I'm gonna read y'all comments. I'm not gonna try to skip nothing. Let me just see where I can. Frank the French says, "Yo, Mr. Boxing, first time up in here. Recommended from at Cali Enigma. Okay, I appreciate that, Cali. And I appreciate you viewing, Frank. Icy says you can't. He says you can't stop mute the truth. Unfortunately, yeah. Okay, I think he's talking to whoever. I'm not sure who he's talking to. Icy says you muted me and Rob Plant. Hey y'all, if Rob ain't saying nothing racist, because Rob's been, I believe Rob was subbing to my first mod, just my Mr. Boxing Today channel. Let Rob rock. Yo, as long as Rob is saying nothing like cussing or no, let me no. As long as he can cuss, but no, as long as he's not being racist, let him rock, y'all. If it's just, hey man, I think Wilder ain't got no jab, or I think just let him rock, man. Rob is good. Like me and Rob go back and forth, y'all. So long as ain't nothing racist, let him rock. You know what I mean? Because me and Rob go back and forth, y'all. So let him rock, man. If it ain't nothing racist, let him rock. Let me see. Yeah, y'all. Hey, let people. I see Woolbag up in this thing. Salute, Woolbag. As long as it ain't nothing racist, y'all, just let people rock, man. And maybe y'all have unmuted them or whatever it is. But as long as ain't nothing racist, I'm good, man. Hey, going back and forth on style matchups and stuff like that, I'm good with that. Even if it's, well, I think this guy's lying. That's cool too. You know what I mean? As long as ain't nothing racist, I'm good. Hey, but hold on, no, time out. If you say something bad about Larry Holmes, mute their ass. You know what I mean? If it say something bad about Larry Holmes, Ali, and George Foreman, mute them. Yes, that's my bias seeking through. Mute their ass. You ain't gonna say nothing bad about no Larry Holmes on my channel. Not at all. Not at all. Not the Eastern Assassin, we ain't. Hell no. Uh Let me see. BFTB says, I want to see how fast the UK trolls turn on White as soon as he signs to fight Wilder. I hope they don't go nowhere. Ricky Alfonso says, great pick for this vid. Yo, man, Martin was my shit, man. Well, it was everybody's show back in the 90s, but man, Martin was my shit. But bro, that's the first. I was trying to find, for all my NBA heads out there, I brought this up earlier. I was trying to find a picture of Gary Payton, because Payton used to always make that face at the refs whenever they'll call a bullshit call on him. Sometimes he was fouling people, but when they would call what he deemed to be a bullshit call, he would always make that face at the refs. Sometimes he got teed up for it too. But I was trying to find a picture of Gary Payton, but then I was like, Martin used to make that face a lot on his show, so I ended up finding a Martin picture. But Martin and GP came up as soon as I listened to that interview from Dillian Whyte. Thank you, Cali Boss 530. If White saw Wilder knocked unconscious, he would have said something a long time ago. And I believe that. He would have said something when Johnny Nelson was coming out with this in 2017. Christopher Hawker says, the sooner this damn Fury rematch is over, the better, man. Even Mr. Boxing today is angry. And I know, I'll be hearing y'all saying, like, Mr. Boxing, man, bro, you come back smooth and relaxed. You don't be getting all up in arms and all. It's just some things that get me like that, man. But yeah, 95% of the time, bro, I'm cool, laid back. You know what I mean? But bullshit, giving Wilder the Larry Holmes treatment as far as the way he gets treated, that shit does get me up, man. Because it's like, bro, you're literally watching greatness in front of you, man. Like, why do people like nitpick? They were even talking about Larry Holmes' legs. You know what I mean? And just little nitpicky stuff. It's like, man, y'all gonna let that deter y'all from literally watching greatness right in front of you? George Michael says Wilder's 34 and a half, and I'm giving him huge props now. There you go, man. There you go. I see a lot of y'all going back and forth. Uh, St. Cruiser says, I thought Holmes won both Spinks fights, second one clearly. Well, I thought he won the second one clear as day. The first one, debatable. Um, but the second one, I thought he won clear. I thought that was just clear. The first one, I wouldn't have been mad. Well, obviously, I wouldn't have been mad if Holmes won, but a draw I wouldn't have been mad with. Uh, but damn, the Spinks fights, though, bro. There was other fights. And as much as I love Larry Holmes, man, there were some other fights where I thought he could have lost, man. The Witherspoon and Carl the Truth Williams fights were fights where I was kind of scratching my head a little bit, like, I don't know about that one, man. I think Larry probably lost them joints, but Timothy Thomas says, Ricky, great point. Let me go and find what Ricky had to say. Oh, okay. Another super chat. Let me go ahead and appreciate that person that appreciates me. Um, who sent that super chat? Count Drago says mid late 80s underrated Wilder Fury 2 plus only heavyweights. Yes, man, those 80s were underrated, bro. First of all, the first half of the decade to be dominated by Larry Holmes, and then the mid to second half of the decade, obviously, the Mike Tyson terror. You know what I mean, for those 4 or 5 years, and then all the guys that were thrown in between. You know what I mean, the Mike Weavers, the Dokes, the Jerry Coates, the Trevor Burbicks, the Pink Line Thomases, Evander Holyfield came on late in the decade. Uh, I mean, the list goes on and on, man. Bone Crusher Smith. The list goes on and on, right? Even though Jerry Cooney in there for the early 80s. Um, Greg Page. You go, I mean, I can sit here and name them all for days, man. And I don't think their era was really appreciated. A lot of those dudes was gold medalists, Tyrell Biggs, you know what I mean? Um, Ray Mercer came on late in the late 80s portion, gold medal winner, you know what I mean? It goes on and on. Yes, Timothy Thomas, Larry Holmes was great. He was, bro. But if you go, like I said, man, and maybe you have, I'm not gonna say that you haven't seen these, but if you go watch those fights, man, where he was coming up and like the pre-fight build-up shows, just horrible. Not to say that during his fourth defense they should have been like, oh, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, but bro, they were just like knocking this dude, like they were just waiting for him to lose the title. You know what I mean? And then when he was dominating, oh, he's not fighting nobody. There's nobody in this era. There's nobody in this era. Then he ended up beating dudes that later became world champions. So Renoro Zoro says Mr. Boxing have proof they lying. White said Wilder was KO'd to the head and shaking. Johnny Nelson said Wilder was stopped with body shots. These stories contradict each other. And bro, like I'm saying, because they said he got knocked out twice with a body shot, and then now that he was on the floor twitching. And my thing is, what would make Emmanuel Stewart keep him as a key sparring partner if he got knocked out cold, twitching on the floor? That to me requires medical help and for you to go to fuck home. And with the plethora of guys that used to come to those camps, I don't see Emmanuel saying, no, we just need this kid in camp. We just need him in camp. No, keep him. I don't see Emmanuel do. Emmanuel bring in about 20 dudes. You know what I mean? So, uh, ooh, Timothy Thomas, Michael Dokes, man, has some of the fastest hands, bro. Man, that dude has some fast hands. Obviously, drugs fucked up a lot of the '80s heavyweights, right? Even Mike Tyson came along years and years later, admitting that he used to do cocaine and be coked up and all that type of shit. But a lot of the '80s heavyweights were using cocaine like the shit was candy, man. And a lot of them uh, kind of went from just the cocaine snorting to start smoking crack. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of those heavyweights were affected by that. Some people don't like bringing that up, just like a lot of fighters back in the '60s and '70s. A lot of them guys were heroin addicts. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys had their own personal problems and demons. But as far as him as a fighter, when he was on point and in shape, very fast hands. Michael Dokes has some of the fastest hands I've seen as a heavyweight. Can take a shot, you know what I mean? But he was in some wars, man. Some of the fights he lost, bro, that dude was in some fucking wars, man. Um, but I remember his fight, with Weaver, the Weaver fights and the Holyfield war that he had. I remember him getting viciously knocked out by Razor Ruddock. But he also has some highlights in his career as well. You know what I mean? But some of the fastest hands I've seen, man. But hey, y'all, I appreciate all the super chats, man. I appreciate y'all popping up in here. Let me see. And I know I didn't get to all the comments, y'all, but I went on a damn Larry Holmes rant and Wilder rant, man. So kind of lost my placement. But yeah, that's my rant about this, man. I just don't believe Dillian Whyte. And what I don't believe the most is that now again, maybe Dillian Whyte should clarify why he got sent home. Did you get sent home because as he said, roughing Vladimir up? Does that mean what Jeremy Williams did to Lennox Lewis back in the day, tackle him and try to fucking do a one leg takedown, all that shit? Now, were you roughing him up? I'm doing quotes. I'm doing the air quotes. Were you roughing him up like that, or were you roughing him up because you was shooting a jab to the face and hitting him in the jaw and roughing up the body and pushing him around? Which one was it? If it's the latter, I don't believe that. I don't believe a 2012 version of Dillian Whyte got sent home because he was beating Klitschko's ass. I don't believe that. So when he said that and he kind of just left it out there for you to kind of speculate, to me, that's how he comes across. That you know what I mean, popping his collar like, yeah, you know what I mean, they sent me home, you know what I mean? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Stop the shenanigans. Hey, y'all, Mark one link up here. He says, peace out, family, and hashtag LDBC. BFTB says, I want Wilder to fight Whyte ASAP. Yes, that's the fight I want next. Dillian Whyte, I'm clamoring for you to get that fight, bro. I'm clamoring for you. WBC, give Dillian Whyte his title shot against Fury Wilder. Fingers crossed that this Wilder Fury fight, hopefully is Wilder, because I want to see Wilder versus Whyte. So I'm pulling for Wilder to beat Fury. I'm not underestimating Fury. I'm going to do a lot of videos about Wilder and Fury. I'm going to go over styles and all that type of thing, man. But look, I want to see Wilder beat him because I want to see Wilder and Whyte. Yes, neutral natural. Dillian Whyte, get in shape, bro. Make sure you're in shape. Rob Plant says, BFTB, what time is it there? Okay. Be in shape. Yes, George Michael, I heard that on 78 Sports TV channel. There will be some type of press conference. All right. But hey, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate the super chats. I had family roll through today, man. BFTB, Neutral Natural, Rob Plant, even though we disagree on a lot of shit. DB, Cali Enigma, Stormy B, man. A lot of the family showed up today, man. Jupiter B, and I'm pretty sure I missed so much other people. Hey, man, whether y'all agree with me, disagree with me, I appreciate y'all showing up. I'll be back tomorrow, man. All right? Y'all be easy. I'm gone.